Hey, Michael.
Afternoon, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to change all of the settings because I had to let you in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me do
You
that.
know what I like about Microsoft Teams?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I hear you. I will just see if I can change the settings. Yeah, it looks like I can. Please work.
It's just a private class, me and you.
There is someone trying to get in. I won't let them, hey? I won't let them.
Oh, no, your class are too good just to do that.
Thank you. Oh, please let it work. I might have to ask my team. All right, there's Vivian. Meeting options. Here we go. Don't announce. Everyone can bypass. No mic, no camera. Sorry, you won't be able to speak to me now, but that's okay. All right, admit everyone. And I am going to spotlight me. Hi guys, I am just trying to deal with the settings in Microsoft Teams. So, if you can turn your cameras off, that would be amazing. Can someone just give me a thumbs up or oh, good. Okay, so can someone just give me a thumbs up and let me know if it's just my screen that you can see now? Ah, woohoo! You guys did it in tandem. That's awesome. All right. I think you guys should still be able to see me. Okay, yeah. It's so small on my computer, so now it just feels like I'm talking to myself. So I hope I'm nice to myself. All right, I am playing music. I'm very aware that the music is coming through really weirdly at the moment, so you won't be able to hear it. And I've done that on purpose. Put on your own playlist, yeah? So if you feel like listening to something that's really soothing and calming, or maybe there's something else that really just makes you feel good, probably not death metal, but if there's just something else you want to listen to that makes you feel good, I encourage you to do that. I always play music when I am doing a yin yoga practice. So we'll just get started. I'll make sure my timer is working. All right. Welcome to your yin yoga practice. If you haven't practiced with me before, this is my jam. It is my favorite kind of yoga practice. And before we get started, I just want to make sure that we have some ground rules in place. Comfort is a priority for most of what we're doing. So you'll see that I've got a blanket on the floor because I've got a hardwood floor and my body just wants a little bit extra comfort today. I've got a few props. I've got a bolster, but if you don't have a bolster, do not be afraid. Grab a blanket or a big couch cushion and have it ready to go. So I've got my blanket rolled up. So you can use bolster or couch cushion or a blanket. I've also got a couple little throw pillows because we'll be needing those for some of the postures that we do as well. Now, with a yin practice, it is very still, it's very quiet. And when your body is quiet, that means your mind might not be so quiet. So I'm going to encourage you to keep focusing on your breath. Never push through pain, always sit. Notice if it's discomfort. If it is, take another few breaths. If it is truly pain, you won't be able to sit in it. You'll have to move straight out. So stop if you feel pain, readjust, or simply find a more comfortable position until the end of the pose. Now, I am timing because a yin practice, we hold poses for up to 8 minutes. In today's class, we're not doing that. We're only going to be holding for about 4 or 5 minutes. It depends on if I wake up or not. I'll be doing it with you. So without further ado, come to a seated pose, just like this. You don't have to cross your legs necessarily. You might want to sit on a block if you have a block, or you could sit on one of your cushions as well. It just helps to lift the hips up a little higher than the knees. So find whatever position works for you as we sit upright to begin our practice. So take a nice, long, slow, deep breath in and feel the spine lengthening all the way up to crown of head. And take a long breath out. Keep the spine where it is, but take your awareness right down to the base of your spine. Let's do that again 2 more times. Breathing in through the nose. Feel yourself rising with your energy all the way to top of head. And breathing out all the way down. Take your awareness down through the body to the base of the spine. One more time, just like that. Slow inhale, breathing in, rising with your awareness, and exhaling all the way back down. Good. Take your head over to one side. It doesn't matter which side. You can follow me or whatever is comfortable. Now bring your awareness to your belly. You can place your hand on your belly. As you breathe in, push that hand on the belly outwards. So belly expands. Breathing out, belly draws back. Breathing in, belly expands. Breathing out, belly draws back. Bring your head back to center. Put your hand back on your knee. Take your head over to the other side. And place your other hand onto the belly. Breathing in, belly gently expands. Breathing out, draw the belly button back. So this is quite an active breath, but we're going nice and slowly, gently. Belly expanding and contracting. One more time. Use this time at the beginning of your practice to settle, to truly invite yourself to come into the space. On your next out breath, bring your head back to center, both hands onto the knees. Roll the shoulders up towards the shoulders, towards the ears, and then back down again. Do that another 2 times. Some gentle movement. Good. Take one hand to the mat, slide out a little bit, take the opposite arm up, looking towards the ceiling, breathing here for 3, for 2, for 1. Back to center. Slide that hand out, sweeping the other arm across, and breathing here. Look towards the ceiling if it's okay for the neck. Opening up through the side body. And coming back to center. Good. This time dropping the head so that the chin comes down towards the chest. Don't let the shoulders drop down and round. Keep upright. And then gently lift your gaze towards the ceiling and back. See if you can lift the chin a little higher towards the ceiling. Stretching through the front of the throat space, the neck, the chest. Good, back to center. Our first yin posture is called dragonfly. If you have a bolster, take it in front just like this. If you don't, you can use quite a few of your props here. So I'm just stacking everything I have because when I push it down, it's going to be about the same size as my bolster, okay? Take your legs nice and wide into a straddle. I'm going to switch to my bolster because it's my favorite. This is my favorite stretch. Now, as you start to walk forward with your hands, keep your back straight. Let your feet just be resting. They don't have to be flexing. They don't have to be toes pointing up to the sky. Just let your legs relax. Now, this is our first phase of dragonfly. with back relatively straight. We're not rounding into the shoulders yet, and we're just allowing our body to get used to the legs being in a straddle. Now, let me just say this. I've been practicing for a really long time. Straddling is just one of the many postures that I do to keep my legs, my hips nice and flexible. If your body doesn't make the same shape, that's okay. And in fact, if you find that there's too much tension under the knees, feel free to bend one leg and just do one leg at a time. I'll tell you when it's halfway. The other thing you could do is take a pillow under each knee to encourage a bend. If you are doing that one leg at a time, you might want to use the pillow as well. All right, so I'm just going to stay here because it's nice and comfortable. Next phase of the stretch is to drop the elbows down. So I'm going to start to round the shoulders now.
Come on.
Dropping head into hands. If you can't reach your head into your hands, it's okay. Just allow the pressure to release from the upper body. Keep the arms, shoulders nice and relaxed. Yin postures traditionally work into the lower body. So we want to just make sure we're nice and relaxed. If you are doing one leg at a time, now is the time to switch. Got another couple minutes here.
She tread on them. They good.
And now might be a nice time that you go just a little bit deeper. You might even get your head down, resting on the bolster or the pillows, whatever you're using. Connecting to your breath now. Noticing the belly, letting it expand as you breathe in. And letting it relax as you breathe out. Slowing down the breath. And releasing any tension that you can feel in the body. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Just giving yourself this space and time to move slowly and gently. So we're slowly going to come out of this posture. Move gently back up, taking your time to re-establish yourself in an upright position. There's quite often a rebound sensation in a yin practice. And so as we move slowly out, it gives us time to readjust. It's often one of the hardest things to do because we're so used to being very quick to move, very active. So this practice truly is the opposite of our everyday experience. Come back to an upright seated position. I want you to use your right hand here, and we're going to block the nostrils off with the thumb and then with the ring finger. So you can curl the first two fingers. I want you to block the right nostril off. Take a long, slow, deep breath in through the nose. At the top of the breath, block the left nostril, open the right. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in again through the right. At the top of the breath, block off the right nostril, open the left, breathe out. One more time, all the way around, breathing in, block off, breathing out. Breathing in, block off, breathing out. Good. Moving on to your back now, I'd like you to make sure that you've got your props fairly close by. So take your pillows, one onto each side, so that we can use them when we go into our side to side movement. We're going to be doing reclining side twists. So come down onto the floor, hug the knees into your chest, take the knees as wide as the shoulders, and flatten your back. Breathe in, push the belly out slightly. Breathe out, flatten the back a little more, bring knees into the chest. Take the knees together, wrap your hand, your right hand, over the outside of the left leg, and then take your knees over to the right, resting on the pillow. We're doing a twist here. And you can use that right hand to anchor on the outside of the legs. Now be aware that everyone's body will feel different. Some days it will feel different to other days as well. So go gently. Use care when you're stretching and twisting through the body. And when you've found that sweet spot where you can feel a beautiful stretch, but there's no pain, you can breathe gently, simply close the eyes and allow the body to melt into the floor. Allow the breath to guide you into stillness. Breathe in, belly expands. Breathe out, belly falls back. Your body surrenders onto the mat. Just notice where the body is tight, where you might be holding on. And see if you can relax through the legs a little more, through the hips, the lower part of the back. Release the legs, bring your knees back to center. Do a little rock and roll side to side. And then knees a little wider than hip distance apart. Flatten the back, bring knees closer to chest. And let's take the knees over to the other side. Hold on with your left hand on top of the right. Having the prop there for the legs is really a comfortable and kind thing we can do for our body. If you feel that you're not in a stretch at all, then simply remove it. But what I find is when we allow ourselves to be supported, to be comforted, our body can go into a deeper sense of relaxation. So I will always say, use your props as much as you have and enjoy them. And hopefully you'll never look at a couch cushion the same. You'll always think of it as being your relaxing Yin Yoga spot. Let the belly guide you into greater relaxation. Keep holding on to those knees if you can, allowing a little bit of pressure to include a bit more of a stretch, a twist into the spine. And undo that hand on the leg. Bring knees back into chest. Little rock and roll again. Nice and easy. Take the knees a little wider than hip distance apart and flatten the back again. Good. Take the feet onto the mat. So we're going to set up for a supported bridge now. So simply grab one of your couch cushions and lift and place underneath the buttocks and underneath the first part of the lower back. This might not feel high enough for you, so feel free to use a couple cushions if you like. I'm just going to stay here. This feels pretty good to me. All right, the timer is on. What I want you to do is take your feet out nice and wide as the edges of your yoga mat or a towel, whatever you're using. Just make sure they're wider than your hips. Your feet are out wider than your hips. We're going to drop the right knee towards the midline. Stay here and breathe. And as you do, let your belly rise a little and then let your belly fall a little. We're looking for a stretch down the right hip and towards the top of the right leg. Let's stay here for another couple breaths. Breathing in gently, breathing out. Nice and gentle. Not forcing, just waiting for the body to soften. Relax the shoulders and back. I wonder if you're holding tension through the upper body. This is your chance to simply check in. Bring that knee back to center. And then left knee over towards the midline. This is your time now to be observant of your body. Just noticing which side feels more open, more available. Expanding the belly, expanding the rib cage with each in-breath. And then allowing the whole body to surrender onto the mat as you exhale. And bring the knee back up to center. Heel toe the feet back to in line with the hips. And then take your right leg and cross the ankle over the knee. This is your first position of figure 4. This might be well enough for you. If you can feel a little stretch here, feel free to stay here. This might not be feeling like anything for you. So if that's the case, I want you to bring the legs a little closer to the chest. So you can hold on to underneath the left leg or onto the right knee. And again, you can just stay here and allow the body just to relax. And a little gentle press with your hand onto the knee might open up that hip a little more. That might not feel enough, so straightening the left leg can actually be very helpful. You can engage a little bit more pressure coming towards the face. You can flex the left foot, or you can reach in and you can create a bind. So my hands are on the back of the knee, keeping the knee straight. My foot is flexed. My right bicep is pushing into my right knee. So I'm creating a little bit of pressure to encourage my leg to go out to the side just a little bit more. I want you to try and focus on your upper body being very relaxed though. Now, because we're in a bind, or some of you might be in a bind like this, you might find that there's pressure as you breathe in, and you feel that pressure to push the belly out. So use this as your focus, as your meditation tool. Breathing in, push the belly out, your legs will move slightly. Breathe out, let the belly draw in, pull the legs a little closer. Very, very slow movement. We're not rushing this process, just taking your time. And if you are moving with the breath, just come into stillness now for the last few seconds. Undo your bind, bending that top leg or straighten leg if you've had it straight, and then both feet back onto the floor. Just settle for a moment, feel the body, and then we'll move to the other side. I love that sensation that happens after a yin posture, where you can really feel the tissues just coming back to neutral again. So cross the left ankle over the right knee. Stay here. If this is where you stayed for the last side, then this is where you stay for this side. That way we're keeping an evenness of the movement. If not, you can bring your knee in a little. And now, depending on where you're going with this posture, you might need to stay in the different stages as this side of the body opens up a little bit more. Extending the leg if you need to. Now engaging your awareness of the breath again. Taking a bind if that feels good for your body. Something that I love that Yin Yoga teaches us is how to pull back if we've gone too far. Too often in daily life we keep striving, but Yin keeps us honest. It helps us to know when, yeah, we might need to just relax a little bit more and take a step back. Take the foot off the gas a little. It teaches us patience with ourselves as well. And let's take our time coming out of this pose, undoing the bind, slowly undoing our legs, and again finding that stillness as the body unwinds before we move to the next posture. Staying here for 5 deep breaths in supported bridge. Belly rises and falls. When you've finished that 5th breath, remove the pillow from underneath the buttocks, roll over onto one side, and then make your way back up. We're going to finish this practice with reclining posture. You can use your pillows, you can use your blanket or big couch cushion. So if you're using a blanket, this is what I want you to do. Have it nicely rolled. So it's about as wide as your waist, or you can use a bolster if you have. So I'll demonstrate with both. What you'll do is you'll make sure you've got cushions on either side of your legs, and then lay back down. Find the perfect spot where it supports your back and your head. We don't want the head going all the way behind because you might get dizzy. And just make sure that you're looking straight towards the ceiling. You'll notice that my feet have gone into a diamond position. We call this butterfly. And I've got the pillows under my knees, so it takes all the pressure off the groin area and the hips. Hands resting onto the hips is one position, or if you want to open up through the chest, take the palms facing up and slide the arms up to a position that's nice and comfortable. Feel free to stay here and breathe gently. If you do want to increase the stretch, take the pillows out from underneath the knees, which causes a big noise, which causes a lot more tension and pressure into the legs. Remember, don't push through pain. And if it gets too much, simply extend one leg at a time, and then you can always switch. Now, if you do have a bolster, I want to show you how to use that. Everyone's back is going to be different. For myself, I need to have a bit of a gap between the lower back and the bolster. Otherwise, it becomes way too lifted and it hurts my body. So I've got a nice space here, and then I'm opening up my chest, letting the hands face it up, and my legs are now in that butterfly position. So we're going to stay in whatever pose that you've chosen with the bolster, if you have one, or the blanket. If at any time you feel that your body is starting to strain and you can't relax, do what you need to do to find comfort again. The more you practice a yin class, you'll actually come to know what your body wants to do as opposed to what your mind thinks you can do. It's the ultimate self-care practice to be able to know when to push a little more or when to pull back. Breathe gently yet deeply and begin to scan your body from the crown of head, looking for areas of tension. Move down through the neck, through the shoulders, down the arms to the fingertips. Just breathing deeply, choosing to let go through the chest, through the upper back, through the torso, into the hips and the legs. Just letting go. Let's extend the legs now, straightening the legs, moving your props to one side. Gently start to move the hips from side to side. Bring your hands back towards the body if they're not already. Pressing your hands down onto the floor. You can either roll to one side or press up onto the elbows and then come back to a seated position. Roll that bolster away, come onto the floor. Traditionally, we would finish a class and stay in Shavasana or corpse pose for up to 10 minutes. So feel free to give yourself that space and time now that you need. Let your feet be out to the sides, palms facing up, and your gaze is towards the ceiling, but your eyes are closed. And let us take 3 gentle breaths as we come into our stillness. Stay here for as long as you need, as long as feels good. And if you do want to come out, roll over onto your side like you're rolling over in bed. And let's just hang out here for a moment. Let the eyes gently flutter open. And coming back to an upright position. Back into your easy pose. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Namaste.